On Friday, May 29th, all is quiet along Amtrak's Keystone Corridor in Lancaster County. There hasn't been scheduled passenger service since March 19th when the line shut down over precautions for the coronavirus. This allowed plenty of room for Amtrak to test their next-generation Acela under its own power for the first time between Philadelphia and Thorndale, Pennsylvania on Thursday. Today, the train will run as far as Lancaster Station, perhaps for the only time in history, so we set up for the Avelia Liberty at the former Irishtown Road crossing in Ronks. Built by Alstom in Hornell, New York, the Avelia Liberty is designed to reach speeds of 186 miles per hour with active tilt technology enabled, or 220 when disabled. Amtrak plans to operate them at 160 miles per hour on portions of the Northeast Corridor starting in 2021 and may eventually increase operating speeds upon infrastructure upgrades. However, today's testing is not for speed, which is being done with the first set at the FRA testing facility in Pueblo, Colorado. Just moments before, they were topped by a stop signal at Leaman, seen here on the virtual railfan camera a couple miles east at Paradise. I don't know if this is from Rusty Rail throwing a track-occupied light, commonly referred to as a TOL, or to test the cab signal and PTC systems upon passing a red signal, but it meant that they'd be proceeding at restricted speed all the way to Lancaster, unless the cab signals upgrade to a more favorable aspect. There's much debate by rail fans over the design, but like anything new on the rails, it takes some getting used to. Now that I've seen it in person, I've grown to like the design and cannot wait to see it in revenue service, but I'm also curious to know your thoughts in the comments below. "59.2 is the distance signal to Leaman, now displaying a clear as the dispatcher lines them back east on Track 4. Tracks 1 and 3 were removed in the late 1960s when passenger service rapidly declined on the Pennsylvania Railroad. Track 4 remains in its original place, while Track 2 is renumbered to the current Track 1. I don't know why, but that's how it ended up. They round the curve into Ronks an hour later, moving slightly faster on the return trip, once again running with only one pantograph touching the wires. For some reason, they almost come to a complete stop before the curve, which prompted me to pack up my things and give chase to Coatesville. When I arrived, there were 5 other rail fans already waiting at the community park next to the Coatesville High Bridge. The Pennsylvania Railroad completed construction of the Stone Arch Viaduct in 1904, which spans 934 feet over Brandywine Creek, the Wilmington and Northern Branch, and First Avenue. An hour after they pass, I relocate to Downingtown Station for Norfolk Southern Local H84, making their way back east from Coatesville on Track 4. Today's train consists of 2 EMD-SD60Es and 14 cars hauling plate steel from ArcelorMittal and GONs from Coatesville Scrap, Iron, and Metal. Amtrak and freight trains operating on the Keystone Corridor are subject to the rules set forth by NORAC, the Northeast Operating Rules Advisory Committee. East of Parksburg, the old Pennsylvania Railroad signal infrastructure is still in place. Track 4 is signaled for westbound movement only, known as Rule 251, whereas Rule 261 territory contains tracks signaled in both directions. Trains must receive a Form D, similar to a track warrant or authority in other rulebooks, to operate on non-signaled track. H84 received their Form D from the nearby Thorn Tower to run opposing from W&N Junction to Glen, where they will enter the Norfolk Southern Dale secondary to Norristown and then head back to Abrams Yard. They slow to walking speed approaching Downs, prepared to stop. Although there are no automatic block signals, opposing moves at interlockings are governed by dwarf signals that can display stop, restricting, and slow speed aspects. The train proceeds again once the aspect is clearly visible. An old Conrail caboose brings up the rear, used as a shoving platform for the reverse move on the connection between Amtrak and Coatesville, and again when shoving toward Abrams Yard. By Monday, June 1st, Keystone service was restored to Harrisburg plus the Pennsylvanian to Pittsburgh, while the Avelia Liberty made its way south from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at Amtrak's new Acela and the bonus catch of H84. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments, and if you learned something or enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to check out another one of our Amtrak videos, and until our next time under the wires, thanks for watching.